Now we are. Go ahead, Chase.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Casual Couch MMA podcast. My name's Chase. We got Matt, Bishop, and Pat here, and we're ready to
And Snoop.
and Uncle Snoop. Can't forget about Uncle Snoop.
Uncle Snoop.
But we had a lot of news, a lot of fights announced since the last episode. If you guys want to see all the fights that were announced, go to our TikTok account. That'll be linked in the description of this video. All those videos are pinned to the top of the profile, so go check those out. You'll see a whole lot of fights, big time fights that got announced. So, a recap of last weekend's fight night with Pavlovich and Blades. What are you guys thinking right now?
I think Pavlovich, I was talking to you guys about it earlier. I think he's the real deal. I think he's a tough SOB. Just watching the fight from my perspective, I don't know. He's like I told you, like he's like 31 or 32, but he fights old. Like he fights like an old man. He was moving like slowly.
Yeah, you said Pavlovich was moving slow?
Yeah.
I said the same thing. I said the exact same thing. What do you think, Pat?
Pat said something different.
See, maybe he was not moving as fast as I thought, but his timing and his precision is good. What I see in that fight was two takeaways. One, that dude, like I said, I know before the fight I said he's a problem. Sergey Pavlovich is a problem. The second thing I took away from that fight is, as much of a problem he is, Curtis Blades was landing early.
Yeah.
His defense is not as good as I thought it was. His striking defense, he has a lot to clean up. However, he lands one of them shots. One of them meat hooks connects. I don't care who it is. If it's Stipe, if it's John Jones, I don't care who it is. That guy lands, man. You're in for a bad night.
It's funny you say that, Pat, because he's got the second longest arm reach in the division.
Yep.
John Jones has the first. And we saw what happens when John Jones fights somebody as tall and as lanky as him.
By half, it's like by half an inch. I think John's 84 and a half.
Yeah.
And Pavlovich is 84. I mean, that guy lands on you. It's a problem. He stuffed Curtis Blades takedowns, which was big. That was really big, even though Blades telegraphs a lot.
That's what I was going to say. Blades, like, he shoots from too far away. He shoots out of desperation. Yep. He doesn't set up his takedowns very well.
No.
So, like, with Pavlovich, he leaves himself open a lot. And he's a relatively accurate boxer. He doesn't do anything overwhelmingly well, in my opinion. But we see that with Ngannou. Like,
I agree.
Ngannou is not a skilled fighter. He's just not. That's the bottom line. But when you have power like that, it erases poor technique.
That's it.
That's the bottom line.
I agree with you, Chase. He's not like a mastery of one. He's not like, he's a great jiu-jitsu guy, but I think his striking is good. I don't think his
striking is good. His hand speed. Go ahead.
No, at times he's wild. He does get wild, and he leaves himself open. Even Blades, if Curtis Blades had a little bit more power, he might have knocked him out. And also, the one thing is, if Curtis Blades, there was a couple times he hurt Pavlovich.
Yeah.
Had Curtis Blades hit him with that nice that 1-2 and went for a takedown, I think he gets it. I really do.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just Curtis Blades. I don't know.
His fight IQ isn't that good.
No, because
that's the bottom line.
3-4 years ago, I really thought Curtis Blades was going to be the heavyweight champ of the world.
He's a talent. He's a talented guy. He weighed in at 262. He's a good size heavyweight.
Yeah.
He can wrestle.
He's a gatekeeper now.
That's all that he is a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
And with Pavlovich, I think you saw how quickly he slowed down. I mean, I never thought he was moving really. He's not a quick or fast fighter. Even for a heavyweight, I think he's on the slower side. But we saw how rapidly his cardio declined in that first round going for the finish.
True.
If someone takes him past the first round, I think he's done. I don't think he has a gas tank to go even 3 rounds, let alone 5.
But getting out of that first round is hell. It's
I mean,
hell.
yeah, but if you're going against Stipe or John Jones,
A veteran.
the likelihood of him knocking down the first round goes down drastically.
I agree.
There's Brian.
Well,
There's Bishop.
On
I
my
agree.
screen, Bishop's right there, but on the Streamlabs, Bishop's right there.
Bottom right.
Yeah, but
He's now you look at Pavlovich. He is the scariest guy in the new era of the heavyweight.
Well, yeah,
He's
the
scariest.
the heavyweight division is so lackluster.
yeah,
But what are you thinking, Matt?
it does. Just to go off what you just said, the heavyweight division does that a lot throughout the course of UFC history. It's super, super boring. Then you get that guy. And then it's so like we just went through it. Not just to be honest with you, we just went through it. It was boring and boring and boring. And then Ngannou starts knocking people out. And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And
Cyril Gahn comes up. People made a big deal out of him.
yeah. So
Right.
I think Pavlov, I think he's good. I can't wait to see him fight next. I can't wait for them to announce that. I'm so happy Bishop was here. I hate to segue away from the UFC because I love the UFC. $1 million knee.
Oh, dude.
$1 million knee.
Fucking badass.
Patchy
I
mix.
love that.
Patchy mix.
I loved it.
Patchy
I loved
mix.
as soon as I saw the $1 million knee, I was like, oh,
I wanted to bring up this.
I'm so glad that guy got knocked out.
Go ahead.
Oh, I got a question for all three of you. What is the next fight for Pavlovich? What do you think?
The next
And
fight
be
for
real. Let's all.
Pavlovich.
Let's just.
I mean,
Bishop, Bishop, take the lead on this one. I want to hear what you
What do
think.
you,
wanna pull
what do you
up the
think's next
rankings.
for What's next for Sergey Pavlovich?
Well, by the way, Pavlovich jumped Stipe in the rankings, and Gahn is still number one. Which I don't know how that. Yeah, I don't understand that. But go ahead, Brian.
He's meeting with ONE FC this weekend. If they do reach a deal, he will be taking off the UFC rankings.
Okay.
So, who else is there? I mean, other than Stipe is gonna fight for the belt for sure.
Is he?
So I mean, I don't know. All right, I'm just gonna say in my role, Stipe fights for the belt, so he's out of the picture with Pavlovich. I mean, who else is there? I mean, he could fight Cyril Gahn.
Cyril Gahn is a good one.
That's the only thing I can really think of right now for certain, other than an immediate title shot, which I don't want to say that because Stipe deserves the title shot. All I can really say is Pavlovich versus Gahn, so he can overwhelm Gahn like he's been overwhelming everyone else. Not saying that's all Pavlovich does. But
I would like
Pavlovich,
that fight.
I would too.
Pavlovich, like he just kind of like
One
comes
second,
at
boys.
you, he walks you down and just fucking overwhelms you, and then you're done. That's it.
There wouldn't be a lot of
Lights out.
wrestling in that fight, if at all.
No. Chase, what do you think?
Well, I think Pavlovich said that he'll sit back and wait for Jones and Stipe to fight, and he'll take the winner. I think that is a likely scenario, but in the same light, I've been telling you guys, I don't think we're going to see Stipe and Jones. I think Dana White's trying to force Stipe out of the UFC. And I think we're going to see Pavlovich versus John Jones. I don't think that we're going to see Stipe and Jones. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Okay, I asked this question because I've been really thinking about this one. Really, I haven't talked to you guys about this, so I see the next fight. I don't see John Jones fighting. I don't see him making the next fight. I see Stipe versus Pavlovich for the interim belt. That's what I see. And then after that, I don't like it either. I really don't. But that's just like a crazy scenario has been going through my head. I see Stipe versus Pavlovich later on in the year for the interim belt, and maybe the winner of that, Jones will fight. I'm telling you, something inside is John Jones is not going to fight in November. I don't trust him. I honestly don't see Jones fighting. And I'm kind of leaning exactly on what you just said, though, too, Chase. They're trying to push Stipe out.
Yeah.
They're trying to push Stipe out, and I just don't see Jones fighting. And if you're Stipe, the other thing is the Stipe, would he even take that? Would he take that fight against Pavlovich? I don't even think he would. He might not.
If it's for a belt, I could see him doing it. And honestly, I think he would take care of Pavlovich.
I do too. But
even at
I think
41, I
that's-
still think he beats him.
I think that's the fight the UFC is gonna offer. I really do. I don't see Jones
I can
versus
see it.
Stipe in November. I see Stipe versus Pavlovich for the interim belt, and Jones not fighting.
I could see that.
I could see that. If that fight doesn't go down, it's a guy we've talked about a lot. I don't think the UFC has given up on Tom Aspinall, and I could see Tom Aspinall and Pavlovich because his last loss was a
I
freak
keep forgetting
accident.
about Aspinall.
That's a good point because the UFC, they're booked for a fight night July 22nd in London. And we talked about it before. Aspinall has been full sparring as of January. 6 months of full sparring, you're ready to go in that octagon. That would actually be a really good fight. I think like I said, you guys know I'm a big fan of Aspinall. I think he beats Pavlovich. I think he is better than everybody in the top 5 outside of Stipe and Jones. I think Aspinall is that good.
Tom Aspinall has a lot of heart, and
He's got a lot of heart.
Just watching that guy fight, it's like you can tell this dude wants it. Like he wants it bad. And some people they get in the octagon are just like, this guy's just here to make a name for himself, and not really. He doesn't really give a shit other than the fact that he has the name, and everyone's gonna know his name.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so and so, who's in the UFC. Like Tom Aspinall, he goes in there and he fucking puts it on the line.
And he's a guy that he doesn't coast on his size. He doesn't he moves really well. He strikes well. He's a good, really, really good ground game for a heavyweight.
Well-rounded. He's very well-rounded.
He's good everywhere.
Yes.
And I think he is a tough matchup for pretty much every heavyweight in the division. I think, we'll see how he comes back after, torn ACL is a big deal. We'll see how he comes back from that, not only physically, but mentally. I think
he'll be fine.
I do too. And I think a first fight back, I think Pavlovich and him would make for a very, very good fight.
Tough fight back, though. That's a very tough fight.
It is.
It's a scary fight if you're Tom Aspinall. Do you take that fight coming off the injury, coming off a loss? Your camp comes to you and they say, hey, do you want to fight this scary mother effer that his last 2 opponents he's knocked out? And if you're Tom Aspinall, it's like, I do, because I want that fame back. I want the fans back. But damn, do I risk it?
Well, it's not only that. It's
risk it for the biscuit.
How soon does Aspinall want to fight for a title? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean,
because if he beats Pavlovich, he's immediately in for a title shot.
Ooh.
And I say he deserves it.
It would be.
So I think he needs a top 5 win. Or not Pavlovich. Aspinall needs a top 5 win to earn that title shot. And if he beats Pavlovich, if that fight happens, he's next.
It puts his name in the hat because, again, I hate to bring it up all the time. He is coming off a loss. It was a freak injury. It was a complete shit show. But
it's not really a loss. But I mean,
it's a loss.
Right?
It goes in the L column. But I mean,
you don't go.
It's like O'Malley versus Chito Vera.
Yeah, I mean it's a loss. But you lost. You took some time off for an injury. You come back, you beat the scariest dude in the division at the moment. Yeah, your name gets put in that hat pretty quick. So,
I mean, who else? I mean, say this is all like hypothetical. That scenario. Say he comes in, they line up Pavlovich, Aspinall, and Aspinall wins. Other Gon's not getting a title shot. Tuivasa is not. Volkov isn't. I mean, it's really. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that are in the heavyweight division that are on a fast track to title shot.
Yeah, if Pavlovich doesn't want to wait and he wants another fight immediately, I would give him the new and improved Volkov. But it just doesn't make sense for that camp. Like, why are you going to risk this win streak on a fight that means nothing?
Hang on 1 second, guys.
You got it. I will. Heavyweight is fun again, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate guys like him that bring the funness back, because now it's fun to watch heavyweight fights again.
Right now.
But before it was meh. I didn't care. So, with all that being said, I do hope Stipe Jones has this. I think that'd be a good.
Okay, then I'll be there.
Last fight.
I'll be there. I'll be there at 5.
Right.
So.
Yep.
With that though.
Can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
No.
Okay, so.
I said no.
I really don't want to see somebody fight Gon just to project themselves into a title shot, because, and I was reading something earlier, and it was like titled "Product of Hype," and I just think Cyril Gane's a product of hype. Just think about the first time we all seen this guy. Okay, the dude's fucking massive, right? He
Right.
moves like a welterweight. He doesn't move like a heavyweight whatsoever. And that was like the big it factor for the guy. And everyone thought he was going to be, the next greatest heavyweight ever.
Yeah.
And then we seen what happened. His
Can't wrestle.
No, he can't wrestle. And his experience just wasn't showing there in that fight.
I don't know.
I don't want to see somebody go after him just to get a title shot, because I just think it'd be kind of cheap. That's just my opinion, because I feel like, I don't want him to be a product of hype, but like right now I just feel like he's a product of hype. And it was Sage Northcutt that was talking about. He was talking about, it wasn't talking about Cyril Gane, but it was more along the lines of like the product of hype and this and that. And
Like
you
he
fuck
was?
up one time, and then you fuck up one time, then that hype is just gone. And it was more targeted towards Raul Rosas Jr.
Yeah,
but like he wasn't speaking ill of him at all whatsoever. But
no,
that's
fuck
just,
that,
I mean,
Bishop.
like,
we're here to start drama. He was shitting on him, bro.
But I just like, I mean, Cyril Gane, like I just don't feel like he's. I mean, who else is there in heavyweight other than those guys up there? I mean, yeah, he's up there. He was the interim champion, but he also got steamrolled by a guy who hasn't fought in 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's
Cyril
also
Gane,
in another weight class.
I don't know this. I don't know if one of you guys do, because I didn't look into it because I'm a shitty person. Did Cyril Gane come from like kickboxing?
Yes.
Or did he just start MMA?
No,
he
he's
came
kickboxing.
Okay, so I didn't. They probably said that.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't paying attention. Sometimes when I watch the fights, I watch them on mute so I can like converse with my wife, which I hate doing.
Faggot.
I know.
So go ahead, Matt.
Well, I was just going to talk about the one fight that matters this weekend, which as of this recording is tomorrow.
Yeah, we pretty much summed up all the heavyweight drama.
Yeah. So we got Ricky Simon
and Song Yadong.
Song Yadong.
Oh, Song Yadong's fighting this weekend?
Yeah.
Well, they were supposed to fight last weekend, Bishop.
Oh, yeah.
They moved it to the main event.
Bishop just got happy.
Where's our stats at, Bishop?
We need the stats of last fight or this one?
No.
Let me get the. Are they headlining it?
They are.
They're the main event.
Okay, let me get this up on the old Googles here. Song versus Simon. Okay.
Simon Song.
Okay, so 19-7 for Song Yadong, 1 no contest, 23 for Ricky and Simon. Ricky and Simon sounds like an
80s folk country band.
It does.
Yeah.
So you got Mr. Song Yadong here, age 25, 5 years younger than his opponent at 30. 5'7". He's 5'7", 0.2 inches taller, whatever you want to call it, and 2 inches taller than Ricky Simon. They're both 135, and the reach advantage goes for Ricky Simon with 69.
So before we get into the fights, I want to make this is just a personal thing for me. Every time a fighter is on the main card and he's 25 or like below, I just sit there and look at my fat self. I'm just like, that could have been me. Could have been me.
Oh, I feel you, dude.
No, I do the same thing. I'm like, these dudes are 25 years old looking like this, and here's me. I'm fucking.
I'm getting back into shape.
Today, that guy's main eventing.
Yeah. He's main eventing. I'm sitting here in my boxer briefs with my diet Coke and some popcorn.
Yeah.
Hey, Diet Dr. Thunder, boy.
Yeah.
Dr. Thunder.
That one little tear rolls down my eye. That's why I don't watch college football.
Honestly, there's a lot of things where like I am curious what would happen if if I hadn't torn my labrum.
Matt is the Uncle Rico of MMA.
But real quick,
this is gonna be a short card. A lot of fights got canceled.
Yeah.
The main event, the odds. Song Yadong is a plus 130 underdog. Ricky Simon is a minus 175 favorite. The over-under is 4.5 rounds. The over is plus 110. The minus 140.
What are their rankings?
I think Song is right around I think it's like 10 and 11, something like that. Bishop, you want to pull those
He's
up
number
for us?
8. He's number 8.
Okay.
Okay, and where's Simon at?
Ricky Simon is number 10.
Okay, 8 versus 10. That's a good matchup.
Yeah.
Another crazy thing is, I know you said Simon was 5 years older. Song has already had 11 UFC fights, and he's 25.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been me if I
Dude,
did.
Song Yadong does not fuck around. Let me tell you that.
Dude, he gave Sandhagen everything he can handle. If it weren't for the doctor stoppage on that cut, I don't know who wins that fight, because I'm pretty sure I had it 2-2 going into the 5th round.
Yeah, he fought a great fight that night.
It was a very good fight. Very entertaining.
I'm a big fan of age and experience, but even experience-wise, they're pretty evenly matched.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But for that fight,
I mean, if I'm making my pick right now, I'm picking Song to win the fight. I think he's going to TKO him.
oh yeah, I would take Yadong only because the record, the experience, like I said. But
And it's not only experience; it's UFC experience.
Yeah, it's the bright lights,
which is a big deal. Yeah,
because that plays with a lot of people's.
I mean, the Sandhagen fight. I mean, it was a 5-round main event fight. I mean, we saw the gas tank go for longer than 4 rounds. I mean, he's Bishop.
Yeah.
Hey, Bishop.
Yeah.
We saw him, go more than 4 rounds. We saw him go 4 rounds. He held on. He fought through the cut. A man already has 11 UFC fights. Song Yadong. Dog or no dog?
It's fucking dog, dude.
It's fucking dog.
He's a fucking dude. He's a fucking dog.
Hold on.
Song, the main event dong.
It's got that dog in him. It's got that dog in him.
I feel like this is going to be a very short card because 2 of the main event fights got canceled. Arman Sarukian and Renato Moicano. I think Moicano got hurt or something.
Yeah, Moicano got.
that got canceled. That sucks.
Yeah. Emily Ducat versus Polyana Viana got canceled, and then if you go to the prelims,
they did.
There's 3 fights that got canceled on the prelims. So
wow,
there's
we
going to
have
be
5 fights got canceled.
3. There's going to be 4 or 5 fights on the prelims card, and then a couple on the.
That's a short
card.
night.
Yeah, it's going to be a short night.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the Apex, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? It's that the fight, the main event's interesting, and every fight matters when you're, top 10. But for that division, I think everyone just cares about Cejudo Aljamain, anyways, right?
Yeah.
And I don't care about
Saturday.
5 and down. Like for right now, I'm just like champ, and he's not even. Cejudo's not even on the rankings, so champ versus old double champ.
Triple C.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? He's how long has Cejudo been out?
2 years, right?
3, 4 years.
How do you feel about it? Because sometimes it bugs me. And I know it's like a marketing thing, like let's make a bunch of money but
Cejudo left. He retired as a champion, correct?
Retired at the top of his game.
Double champ.
Yeah. So he retired as the champion. I mean, I don't mind it that much. I mean, it draws numbers, it makes money, so it makes sense. That's the bottom line.
Right.
It's just I don't know. Sometimes it bugs me when a dude who hasn't fought
I get
comes
that.
in, skips people, and it's like. But I mean, I get it. Money, marketing, whatever.
It would bug me
in the
more.
same light. Go ahead, Matt.
It would bug me more if somebody in the rankings was ready to go. But Sandhagen just fought, Marlon Barrow just fought. Obviously, they fought each other.
Yeah.
Sean O'Malley's not ready, and then Merab said he's not going to fight him because they're best friends. So you don't have anyone that's ready to go.
Right.
So I mean, looking at it, and it would bother me less if Henry Cejudo wasn't so fucking cringe about it. But whatever sells.
Yeah.
But he is good.
So
he's good. I'm gonna watch it.
He's very cringy.
Yeah.
So Bishop, you were saying you don't like when the guys sit out for too long and then want a title shot.
Yeah, just
and
all
we're
of a sudden
talking about the heavyweight stuff. Stipe's been sitting out, coming off a loss.
Yes.
Stipe's been sitting out. As big of a Stipe fan as I am, he's been sitting out since 2021 after getting knocked out, sitting out for a title shot.
Well, I mean,
that's why. You can make the argument that Stipe doesn't deserve it. You can make that argument.
At least with him, he didn't say I'm retiring or this and that. He took time off for personal matters to. He took time off. He said he was going to do it just because he wanted to get bigger, and that knockout was pretty brutal. So he wanted to take time to recover from that. Then his father passed away, so he took time with that too.
The big thing
and then he had some other things going on too with his job.
Was he offered another fight? That's not that's a lot of things that I see people arguing about. The question is, was Stipe even offered another fight?
I will have to look this up. I thought he was, but it wasn't a title fight, so he turned it down. I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. Right. Yeah, don't quote me on that. I just want to I feel like that was a story.
That's another thing, and it happens all the time in MMA and in boxing, where Stipe could be like, "Oh no, they never offered me a fight," and then Dana could be like, "Yes, we did," and then you don't know who to believe.
Right.
And it happens. All
Honestly,
the time.
I would believe Stipe over Dana because we all know Dana doesn't like Stipe.
Well, I know. So, I'm just saying it happens. It just happened. Like John Jones calls out Stipe. Stipe responds. John Jones tells Stipe he never signed the contract. Stipe is like, "Yes, I did. Like I'm waiting on you." And it's like, who do we believe?
Right.
Here? So.
Stipe's never ducked anybody. So.
I'd take Stipe over John Jones, like saying that stuff. Like Stipe is a really stand-up guy.
Word for word. Yeah, there's no. Yeah.
Well, I would believe anything Stipe would say. I mean, he's just a stand-up guy.
He does stand up. Yeah.
Yeah. I looked up if Stipe was offered any fights after the Ngannou loss, and the only thing I'm seeing is his statement after the loss, and there's nothing.
Okay, so he wasn't. So I was wrong. Okay.
Yeah, I'd never heard anything about him being offered any fights because he did say he was going to take some time off just to recover, and he went to a different department and stuff like that.
Around the casual couch, we fact check. We give you the truth. We don't spread these rumors. I thought I heard a story. I made sure that we corrected that and got the facts before we went out and actually said it happened. So you can trust Casual Couch MMA podcast.
Yeah. Until next episode, I'm like, this just in, breaking news. Stipe Miocic drinks Bud Light.
No, he drinks Modelo.
Yeah.
That's right.
Modelo's beer of the fighters.
Yeah. Fact check. So what's going on? What we got next, Chase? What's on the agenda next?
This weekend, a lot of fights got canceled, but the main thing was Song Yadong versus Ricky Simon. I think, it's going to be a fun fight. I think we all are taking Yadong, or am I correct on that?
I'll take the dong. I'll take Song Yadong.
Yeah. All right. So honestly, actually, I'm going to go ahead and get these couple announcements out, and then I got to hop off. But so the biggest thing as of late, Davison Figueiredo pulls out of UFC 290 against Manel Cape. And as of now, there is no replacement fighter, but I'm sure they'll find somebody to step up because it's a fight on International Fight Week in Vegas on pay-per-view. It's a big-time fight. So I'm sure they'll find a replacement for him.
Start dieting.
Dang, I'm 220 right now. That's a lot. So, but we'll circle back to that because talk about Figgy potentially moving up. But so the next one is going to be next Saturday, which we'll get into more on our podcast this upcoming week. Gilbert Burns versus Bilal Muhammad is a co-main event, and they both wanted it, and they got it 5 rounds. It's a 5-round fight, which is huge. Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush got moved to UFC 289 as the co-main to 3-round co-main to Nunez and Pena. And we got Robert Whittaker fighting Dracus du Plessis on UFC 290. So that's a big time fight. And they said the winner of that fight is going to fight Izzy later this year in Sydney, Australia. So it's a big news there. And there is the whole Nate Diaz being arrested. He got charged with 2nd-degree battery for choking a dude out in a bar fight. So there was a lot of stuff going on. So I will leave you guys to unpack that. And I got to hop off. So I will talk to you guys later.
Well,
yes, sir.
Yes. We'll talk a little bit later. Have fun, man.
All right. Peace out.
I would say have fun, but it sounds like you're running errands.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So we will. Let me fix. Hold on. I got to fix the camera. We're just going to do that. And then we're just going to do this. And then we'll do this, and we don't have an editing guy yet, so like this is gonna be in the video.
That's fine.
And all right, I did want to talk about the Nate Diaz situation because I love Nate Diaz.
Let's talk about it.
I saw a lot of people. There's two sides to every story. Two sides to everything.
Always.
So there's a lot of people that are saying, what a thug. Like, how he put a dude to sleep. Like, it is assault on a certain level. But
yeah,
a lot of people are also saying self-defense. Now, I'm a huge Diaz fan. I love Nate Diaz. It doesn't look like self-defense to me, dude. It looks like the guy, the Logan Paul lookalike, was like hands up, like, hey, man, I don't want to fight you. Then in the video, you see like skirmish, and it comes back to Nate, and he's like, I love guillotines. They're my favorite submission. I do them all the time. He's this guillotine, man. Like, he's putting this dude out, and then he threw a knee. So your guys' thoughts? I love Nate. I still love Nate. I don't see
from what I seen, I seen like a part of the video where it made it look like it was like self-defense. But I'm also seeing a bunch of things like that dude was like actively looking for Nate Diaz, like wanting to start something with him.
Yeah.
And I guess he did start something with him. And I guess there's a part of the video that didn't catch that where he was like starting shit. And I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm not,
Well, I don't want to accuse anybody, and I don't want to be on the losing side of the argument. I'm just saying, from my perspective, it looks like the guy was saying, like, hey, man, we don't want problems. And he could have been doing this, like, hey, and then the video pans, and when it pans, you don't know if he's, devil finger, talking bad shit. But this all stems from this guy is the Jake or
Logan Paul
lookalike. Nate's just booked a fight with Jake Paul. So this guy was probably doing some sort of prank, some sort of publicity stunt, and he fucked around with the wrong one.
Yeah.
So still love the Diaz brothers. They're still my favorites. I don't know why you would go to any bar where there's a UFC fighter and attempt anything. Like, why attempt to bust this guy's balls or prank him or whatnot? But it doesn't look like self-defense for me. But the dude was probably also being a dick. But I guess it was a big skirmish. Like, it wasn't just Nate and that dude. Like, there was fights, like 4 or 5
there was fights everywhere, dude. It was a melee.
Well, it's New Orleans.
There were cats fighting everywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
people just fight in the streets in New Orleans.
I will say this: I think Nate Diaz is gonna fight a couple more times. Depending on what the outcome is, he loses some money. He might be fighting a couple more times. So, for fight fans, this might be good because you might see Nate Diaz get back in either the boxing ring or the octagon because he might have to. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not a big celebrity boxing fan, but I've definitely watched Nate Diaz box anything.
I'm a big celebrity deathmatch.
He's gonna make a lot of money.
He's gonna make
a lot of money. Any person that wants to go out into the boxing realm, the celebrity boxing match. I mean, we all talked about it. We know what it is. I mean, the entertainment aspect of it. It's all exactly. He's gonna make a lot of money. Shit, I'd go in there for $10 million. I'd let Logan Paul or one of the Paul brothers beat my ass. Go ahead, dude.
Oh yeah,
go ahead.
Dude,
where's my money?
You want me to go down in the 5th? All right, dude, I got you.
Yeah, I'll hang in there as long as I can.
Yeah, if I can't make it to the 5th, dude, just give me half.
Yeah, keep me around for a couple rounds. Keep my sorry ass around, but I'll go in there.
We were watching
for that kind of money. Shit.
Yeah, we were watching Jackass 4, and the part where Ngannou punches Aaron. Was it Aaron?
Oh yeah, that was nasty.
Ashley looked at me because obviously my wife doesn't know that feeling, and she goes, "Would you let that happen, dude? For a quick meal? Yeah, I'll get over it.
Pay a quick meal and pay for my medical bills."
Yeah, a quick bill. It had the doctor find my nuts because they're gonna blow.
Yeah. I don't know what you got to
do. Nuts.
It's like at work when I use gloves and I take them off, I just roll them back over and all the fingers pop out. That'd be the doctor. You're gonna have to just blow in my mouth until they pop back out, man. But yeah,
put an air hose up your ass.
Yeah, the Nate Diaz, it's a weird one. He did turn himself in. I'm sure there'd be more news coming out with that. Another one that Chase brought up just to get back into like actual MMA fights. Davison Figueiredo dropped out of the fight. I didn't see too much about it. I know a lot of people are pissed off. I know Cape is pissed off.
Wasn't medically cleared, right?
When he accepted the fight, he wasn't medically cleared.
Yeah, he took the fight before he was cleared.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have a serious question on it. Whose fault is that? I understand some potentially Figueiredo's, but that's the promotion's fight too. You don't think they would know this? You don't think the UFC would know that this guy's not cleared to fight? But yeah, let's sign him anyways. I mean, I don't know. That's something we're gonna have to look into, and I would think though, man, Dana would know. The UFC would know if this guy's cleared to fight or not. So I think that's an error on both sides. I can't necessarily 100%, blame Davidson here, but I mean, you would have to think the promotion would know what the hell's going on with their fighters.
Yeah, and I thought the same thing. So Dana White has said in the past, when guys start talking about retirement, he tells them just to retire. If you're thinking about it, you want to do it. I would feel the same way if fighters start talking about weights. 125 is too hard, I'm moving up. Then there's no thinking about it. Your next fight is at 135.
Yeah.
So he had made comments about the weight cut and moving to 135. Why take a fight at 125 while you're not medically cleared? So you're not medically cleared. You have no idea what a weight cut's going to do to you. And I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. From my point of view, he didn't look good his last weight cut. So
no, he needs to go to 135.
Yeah, he needs to move up.
For your take, the promotion. If I was Dana and Hunter and all those guys, yeah, man, sorry, you want to fight at 125, but you were talking about moving up, and I'm not risking losing this fight. The fight being canceled because your weight issue.
Right.
So I think he moves up. At least 125 is starting to get a couple more contenders. So 125 will be okay. It's just that will his power and skills transcend into 135? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Because there's killers up there.
Yep. Tough division.
It's full. Yeah. Let's just take Figueiredo versus Peter Yan.
That's a fun fight.
It's a fun fight.
That's a fun fight.
It's a really fun fight, but how does Figueiredo get a guy like that out of there? Or Corey Sandhagen? The quick, flashy guys.
A lot of fun fights. Like you said, it all depends if the power translates. If the power translates to 135 or moves over to 135, then he connects with you. He's going to hurt you. But like I said, that's if it carries over.
Yeah, and if Figgy moves up, a good fight for him, a good fight in general. If Figgy does move up, him versus Dominic Cruz, a guy that
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a Dominic.
If
Cruz
Dom's fighting anymore,
he's still in the rankings. He hasn't said anything about retirement. From my personal belief, I think a title run's over for him just after his last couple performances. But it's a good fight. Get your name in the door. Here I am at 135. I'm fighting arguably the best champ this division's ever seen in his time. So could be good if Figgy does move up, if the power carries over. And then what else did Chase bring up?
Bilal Muhammad and man, Gilbert Burns. Wow, brain fart there.
Yeah, go ahead, Bishop. What do you think about Bilal?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Bilal and Gilbert.
I'm gonna take Gilbert on that.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not giving a prediction yet because I'm still in the air.
I think Gilbert. I think he wants it more. Like, not saying that Bilal doesn't want it, but like, I don't know, dude. Just like, he sits on things for too long. Like the whole eye poke situation and this, he just sits on fucking things for too long. It's like, dude, just fucking move on.
I could see that.
He just seems like a. I don't even know the right word for it, but like dude, fucking Gilbert's coming in, like a month layoff or whatever, month turnaround.
Yeah,
and going into fight again.
This is a really big short notice fight for both guys. I mean,
this is a huge turnaround.
This is for both guys. This is quite possibly the biggest fight of both of their careers.
Yeah.
This fight right here, and it's on short notice. I'm so up in the air on this fight. I'm not going to predict anything yet. I don't want to make a prediction yet. because I can see this fight. I can see either guy winning this fight, but I can also see either guy just it's going to be hell because the short notice and it's just a tough matchup, man.
Yeah.
Bilal Muhammad is that a great wrestler and his striking is improved and he just grinds you out. And you add Gilbert Burns, his striking and power along with that jiu-jitsu, his counter striking. This is such a good fight and a hard fight. This is one of them grinding fights.
Yeah.
And it will, I think the winner of this fight, like kind of what Bishop just said, though, who wants it more?
Yeah.
I say Gilbert. Like
I see this
100%,
fight
I
going,
say Gilbert.
I see this fight going 5 rounds, and I say whoever wants it more, who can dig deeper, who wants that belt more, that shot at the title. And like I said, I'm not making a prediction because right now I don't know. I think it's a war.
Yeah.
I mean, this is definitely a title shot fight. 100%.
Oh, it's eliminated. Title
It
eliminated.
has to be.
100%.
And I agree with both of you. I think it comes down to which guy wants it more. I'm with Pat. I'm not going to give a prediction right now. There's just it's such a good fight. I'm so excited for it. It's one of those fights where I don't have a prediction until the cage door shuts. But
I gave my prediction just because of the fact, and I've said it before, I think that I just want to like I've never been the most fondest of Gilbert at times, but like I definitely like him more now than I used to, like past years. But there's a lot of haters out there on Gilbert Burns, and I think Gilbert Burns needs to earn. Well, he doesn't need to earn. I think he deserves more respect than what he's given sometimes from some people. And if he has this quick turnaround after a fight, and wins, everybody needs to shut the fuck up about him.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Everyone just needs to stop.
Same with Bilal. Same with Bilal.
Yeah, same with Bilal Muhammad. Everyone needs to shut up about him too. But this is a huge defining moment for both these guys' careers. This is a massive fight for both of them.
I think it's the biggest fight in both their careers.
Yeah, absolutely. And then,
like besides the title fight, biggest fight.
I think even with, I feel like for some fighters, your road to the title should mean more than getting the title.
Yeah.
And this is one of those times where like this fight might mean more than fighting the champ. Let's just say Leon is still the champ after this fight, you know, when he goes up against Colby later.
Right.
You got to go into this fight after that final bell, sit down, probably bloody. You're going to be sweating. Your heart's going to be
beat up.
Lungs are going to be going. And you got to be like, shit, I earned that. Like,
yeah,
I did. And it's that old saying that it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. You just went out there and you proved that your fight was bigger than his, and his fight was fucking huge. So I feel like this would be, for both guys, this is one of those, whoever gets the hand raised, as soon as your name gets called, big sigh of relief, shoulders get a little lighter, and you're like, on to the next one. Like, I'm ready.
I'm not saying it's going to live up to the fight I'm going to mention. I'm not saying it's going to be, because that's one of the greatest fights. This will be a test of will, almost in a way, not the same fight. Lawler versus, Robbie Lawler and I just drew a huge
Rory
McDonald. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Man, I had a brain fart. I apologize.
You're good.
Both of them guys, it was you took all the talent and who wanted it more. I think, that's what this fight's gonna be. It's who can find that extra oomph, who can find that last round, because they're gonna grind each other out, man.
Oh yeah.
This is such a good fight. And the only bad thing is it is on short notice. I wish both guys had a long camp to prepare. But all in all, I am very, very excited for this fight.
Yeah, and fights to compare it to, and I'm not going to compare it or say it's going to live up to the hype.
Right.
But two guys that had to put on a show. They had to do it to prove that they deserve to be where they're at. I mean, you're looking at a Griffin Bonner moment.
You're right.
Because both got first fight on TV, national TV. This is not pay-per-view. Everybody gets Spike TV, Channel 30 in our area.
In my opinion, the biggest fight in UFC history.
Yeah, but it's two dudes. And imagine you're sitting there getting your hands wrapped, and they're just like, hey, by the way, We just checked the numbers. There's 50,000 people watching this tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
And then if you're the fighter, you're like, I can't go out there and lose. Dude, those
That
two
was
go out
like
there.
that was like a duel of the fates moment for those
Oh, it
two.
was.
the
It was
story behind
Anakin
that fight.
Obi-Wan.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
it
no,
was-
no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like, Qui-Gon, Darth Maul.
Oh, yeah. I can see it.
I mean, it was 50, like you said, there was 50,000 people. But, dude, during mid-fight of that fight of Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin, their numbers were like at 3.5 to 4 million views.
Oh, yeah.
People were calling their friends and like, dude, you gotta fucking watch this. Turn on channel 30. Look at these two dudes going at it.
When you
That
got
fight was the biggest, most important fight in UFC history.
yeah,
Period.
I don't want to get into like the history of MMA or like any
Yeah,
of the stats.
right.
I'm not gonna. That's for another time.
Yeah, it's for another time.
But imagine you're a boxing fan. You don't know anything about MMA. And you're just flipping through the channels, and you're on Cartoon Network in our area, and you hit up. Now you're on channel 30. You're on Spike TV, and it's just two dudes wailing on each other. Especially around our age, I think we were probably like 13, 14, somewhere around there.
we were young.
I was a little
Hell
younger.
yeah. Like, every kid loves
Yeah.
boxing. I'm going to watch this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then,
Something you've never seen before.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
I had already known what MMA was, and I had watched the season of The Ultimate Fighter. But I remember, like, my brother coming into my room, and my brother was like, do you know what this is? And I was like, yeah. And now my little brother is the biggest MMA nut. He calls me every pay-per-view, like, do you see this? Do you see?
Yeah.
And
Grown men were doing the same thing we were doing
Yeah.
back then. Literally, grown men calling their friends like, dude, put this on. This is insane. And I going back to the fight, I agree with you, Matt. This is that kind of fight, man. It's just the battle of the will. And it's gonna be two guys who I think have tremendous willpower, two guys that don't break. They don't break under pressure. Something's gotta give. We will find out fight night who gives.
it's going to be fun. I
Yep.
think that covers everything.
I think so too.
Pretty good episode. We were 10 minutes under
Yeah.
an hour, but this was very last minute. Like, it was like this morning at work. We're like, hey, we have to record.
Yeah.
tonight. So
Yeah.
I think we did a good job. We covered everything. We lost Chase.
Agree.
So Bishop, you do the goodbyes.
I do the goodbyes?
You go ahead and try to do the goodbyes.
Dude, I'm going to mess this all up.
Give it your best shot, or I'm gonna let Uncle
I
Steve
can't.
do it.
I can't mess this up for Chase. But thanks for watching the Casual Couch MMA podcast. We'll definitely see you next time, and we'll see you then.
All right.
That's all.